you would like to see the FBI get to the bottom of?
I think they could look at all of it. It's all the same scam. They could look at this Jeffrey Epstein hoax also, because that's the same stuff. That's all put out by Democrats.
Yeah.
And, some of the naive Republicans fall right into line like they always do. They just don't have the sustainability. They don't have they don't have that stick to it like glue. The Democrats, they have bad policy. They have bad candidates. They have bad everything. But they stick together. The Republicans.
That's Donald Trump calling into a very friendly show and continuing to double down on what is fracturing his base, collapsing his base, really, in a way that I've never seen covering this for years. I've never seen MAGA abandon Trump on anything, as we're now seeing with the whole Epstein situation. Trump's now calling it a hoax, saying, I don't even know what he means by it. Just the files or the story itself or the crimes, that it's a hoax by the Democrats and that like Russia, they created it. What's interesting is despite him lying about the previous quote unquote hoaxes, his framework says that those previous hoaxes were crafted and created to hurt Trump. So he's kind of admitting that whatever it is that he's examined in the files, however you define those, would be created to hurt him. Like, it's just, he's admitting a little too easily and directly that he believes whatever the it is there would hurt him. Welcome back, everybody, to the morning show. I hope you're doing absolutely wonderful. A lot to discuss. We do have other topics other than this one, but this is setting the internet ablaze every time I wake up in the morning. Let's keep listening. This is on Just the News, no noise. What's interesting is I feel like the more that the title of the show insists it's about facts and just news, the less factual it is. Like, you always have like Megyn Kelly, just news, no bullshit or something. And then this, literally just the news, where probably they give the least accurate news you could imagine. Truth, only truth bombs here, truthbomb.com.
Republicans don't do that, but they ought to look into the Jeffrey Epstein hoax too, because that's another hoax that's frankly put out by the pushing the Republicans and put out by the Democrats.
No, they definitely set the Republicans up. One big prosecutor look at it all. Would that make you feel good, you think?
Well, I think it's in the case of Epstein, they've already looked at it, and they are looking at it, and I think all they have to do is put out anything credible. But, that was run by the Biden administration for 4 years. I can imagine what they put into files, just like they did with the others. I mean, the Steele dossier was a total fake.
Right.
They took 2 years to figure that out for the people. And all of the things that you mentioned were fake. Yep. So I would imagine if they were run by Chris Wray and they were run by Comey, and because it was actually even before that administration,
right, they've
been running these files.
So during yours, you remember yours was before his? Hey, Trump, trivia. When did Epstein die? It was while you were president. So he's not doing great. We will, just because it's a lot, we'll touch on this subject and then go to some other stuff, and then we'll cut back to it and get to some of his fans or former fans' reactions. But you heard him mention Comey. This is sus. Sussy-wussy is what I call it. The guys don't like when I say that at all. They kick me every time. But I like it. A sussy-bussy or a sussy-wussy. I think it's cute.
Why are you the way that you are?
Hey, chill, Michael. So as all of this is happening, the Trump DOJ fires the attorney who prosecuted Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. That's weird. Well, that's strange. Now, this is Moren Comey, James Comey's daughter. So they've already been angry at the Comeys. And she prosecuted Sean Combs. I guess I don't know if you can blame her for that, but the outcome of that case was really aggravating that he didn't get more. But okay, Moren Comey, the federal prosecutor who handled the criminal cases against Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, was fired from the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York Wednesday by the Justice Department. The reason for Comey's firing was not immediately clear. So if you're MAGA, well, actually, they'll probably be mad about this too. But if you're MAGA like 3 weeks ago, you would say that Comey needs to be fired because she's the corrupt daughter of James Comey, who they hate, Trump's former FBI director, right? Yes, who posted the 8647 something, and they had a big falling out. Trump fired him. So I guess they don't like Moren Comey for that reason, and probably others. But while you're caught up in this scandal, and your base is abandoning you, for you to add another layer to it by firing the person who prosecuted Jeffrey and Ghislaine and Diddy, all three. Which, wow, Moren is a busy bee. Breaking, Donald Trump just fired the federal prosecutor who prosecuted Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell for sex trafficking. It's all very strange. It just keeps getting worse. And we did learn that now there's 5 minutes missing from the from the jail footage. The news of Moren Comey's firings arrives amid ongoing MAGA revolt as the president's supporters continue to condemn Trump's Justice Department's memo announcing the administration's belief that convicted sex offender and accused sex trafficker Epstein killed himself in prison, and that the department was effectively closing its case. And then you fire the prosecutor. Make of that what you will. And then you have a former Trump employee last night going on CNN saying, I remember when Trump and Epstein helicoptered their way in the middle of the night to a casino and brought in girls that weren't even old enough to be in the casino. Now, one of them they knew to be 19. So this person specifies they're of legal age, he believed, but just not 21. But given how old at that point in time Trump and Epstein were, still strange.
President Trump suggesting that the FBI should look into the Epstein case, but not necessarily because of Epstein's actions, but because he says it's a scam pushed by Democrats.
But they ought to
Yeah, we got this part. All right, let's jump to this guy.
And you're saying they would, from what you would call, come down to the casino together. I mean, Trump has called Epstein a terrific guy, a lot of fun to be with. Now, that was a New York Magazine interview all the way back in 2002, predating any of these, any knowledge of Epstein's nefarious actions. More recently, Trump has downplayed his relationship with Epstein. Back in 2019, he said this, and this is right after Jack Epstein was taken into custody.
I knew him like everybody in Palm Beach knew him. I mean, people in Palm Beach knew him. He was a fixture in Palm Beach. I was not a fan of his. That I can tell you. I was not a fan of his.
That doesn't really fit with what you're saying.
No, Aaron, it doesn't. And, one incident that I think kind of, proves their closeness and how much they hung out together. One time, on Monday morning, I came in and the commission was waiting. The inspectors were waiting at my office. And Donald and Jeffrey had come into the casino in the wee hours of Sunday morning, 1:30 in the morning. Two buddies. They had three women with them. And the commission was waiting for me because they had determined that the women that they brought down were underage to be on the casino. And when I asked them how they knew that, by the way, one of them was the number 3 ranked tennis player in the world. Okay. And this guy happened to be a tennis fan. And he said, Jack, I know she's 19 years old. Okay. So, and to get on a helicopter with a friend and 3 other people and fly down to Atlantic City, I mean, you can connect those dots. They were pretty
at 1:30 in the morning. And just to be clear, the story, when you say underage for the casino would be 21, right? So not necessarily legally underage girls, right? Not in that case.
No. Not in the sense of a minor, so to speak, that's been described with Epstein. They were underage to be in the casino, and they knew for fact that.
Yeah. So, sorry, they were buddies. I don't know. It's funny how like all of these outlets are now like, let me tell you this story about how when Trump says he wasn't besties with Epstein, he's wrong. We know. We've known. It's kind of obvious. Now, again, I don't know what age that would place Trump at, but my guesstimation calculator is saying still creepy. For 19 equals creepy. And then you have, of course, clips like this. It's just all falling apart.
President Trump, would you consider appointing a special counsel to investigate the Jeffrey Epstein investigation?
I have nothing to do with it.
I have nothing to do with it. How is this being created for the purpose of coming off suspicious? Now I'm like, so I started this journey as an ardent anti-conspiracy theorist. Now I'm throwing out like Barron's climbing into Melania's climbing in and strangling Jeffrey Epstein. Then now I'm like it's bending so much that now I'm going, wait, can I make myself so conspiratorial that maybe this is all some big 4D chess and then I'm just MAGA now? What? Because no, you don't say I have nothing to do with it. I did nothing wrong. What? I'm not guilty. No, but what? This is really exciting. We just got some big news in from Bryson Tappan, saying, hey, Luke, I am a representative from the deep state. We saw the oath you took, and after careful consideration, you are accepted into the deep state. It's just been a long journey. I've lost a lot of people. It's just good to get a win, you know? Thank you. That's very exciting news. I did submit my application to be a part of the deep state. I guess it got accepted. Christian Hughes. Oh, now that it's accepted, I think that this whole Epstein thing is just a big misunderstanding. I think it's just a big misunderstanding. Okay. All right. Let's take a break from the Epstein stuff. Then we'll get back into it in a little bit. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you have clicked the join button to become a member, like Christian Hughes just did, and get the bonus show. We have a lot of fun on the bonus show, and you support this show. Make sure you get PEP, the energy drink company my brothers and I started to give a healthy alternative to that energy boost that you need throughout the day. Drinkpep.com. And let's charge forward. A man with guns, bow and arrow, and medieval axe detained outside U.S. Capitol. A man has been detained outside the U.S. Capitol after police found a car with weapons inside, including guns and a bow and arrow. The situation began Wednesday morning as Capitol police officers investigated a car parked on Pennsylvania Avenue. And it had a tricycle strapped to the roof. So, I want to I want all of us together to figure out, with that information in mind, what was this individual planning on doing? Jumping onto a bicycle, gun in hand, bow and arrow strapped to his back, axe in his other hand, and he was going to tricycle his way up the Capitol steps and then do who knows what. I have some ideas. But let's say that you have a gun, okay? What's the bow and arrow for? From my understanding, I think the gun works better. I think the gun will do the trick. Can you imagine you're like in a confrontation with someone, they're like, poof, 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 and you're like, oh, you hide behind, and then you hear it click, click, and you're like, yes, they're out of ammo, and they go, not so fast, and they take a bow and arrow out, shh, don't move. You're like, whoa, and then they use all their arrows, and you're like, all right, let's do this fisticuffs, and then they whip out a medieval axe. Yikes. That's intense. Zoron said, at this point, it feels like he's purposely sabotaging the Republican Party. Why? I have no idea. Well, now that I just got the classified briefing as a deep state agent, I did learn that Trump has been an op the whole time. He's been an op. And the purpose was, we were getting sick of the Republican Party. And it was gonna be fine for a really long time. They were gonna run Mitt Romney, then they were gonna run somebody else, and that person was gonna win, and the next. And so we went to Trump and we said, "Hey, we have this stuff, you in the Epstein files, and you have to do what we want. If you don't, people talk about blackmail. They think this person, Trump, was the one being blackmailed. Okay, by me. At this point in time." I was 12, 11? I was 12. But I was already up doing things. And I was blackmailing Trump. And I was saying, what you have to do is you have to run for president. You have to win. Then you have to lose. Then you have to try to do a coup. Then you have to win again. Then you have to rip apart your base. So that the Republican Party will be electorally not viable for many years. And he did it at every step of the way. The genius thing, though, was that Comey, Moren, and myself decided at the last juncture we would still keep the bombshell in the files. So then he would be stuck. He can't expose that he's been an op, but he also can't release the files. So he goes down with his base. It was a pretty good plan to come up with. I still didn't know the word discombobulated at the time that I came up with this plan. But a pretty good plan for a 12-year-old to come up with and execute.
I have concepts of a plan.
No, I had a real plan. And it worked over the last few years. And now the Republican Party is being destroyed. No, honestly, it is weird to try to understand. How can he so perfectly do everything that is wrecking his own support? I don't know. I really do not know. And this, I don't know if I want to watch this. When I pulled this up, I did not realize it was 7 minutes, Owen. Owen Shroyer is this MAGA guy. You can see him here. He went to prison for January 6th things, and he was pardoned by Trump. But now he's sounding the alarm about numerous things, including Trump's health. You can see in this photo, Trump has brown on his hand, but then they have been putting makeup on it, which makes it even more noticeable. I think he might as well just put on like a Michael Jackson glove. It's kind of obvious to everybody what's going on. And so he posted a video. Owen Shroyer, who's like a big MAGA guy, went to prison for Trump, was pardoned by Trump. And he's posting saying, "What's wrong with Trump?" was the caption.
Well, by now you've likely seen President Trump's latest Truth Social post, basically saying the Jeffrey Epstein story is a hoax. And those that are still talking about it are, from yesterday's comments, bad people, and now his past supporters. So this is like Hillary calling us deplorables. This is President Trump basically signaling to his base.
Can y'all ever get over the deplorables thing? My goodness, you snowflakes. One time she said half of Trump's supporters are a basket of deplorables. Politically, should you say that? No. And then how long was that ago? 9 years? And you're like, Hillary doesn't like us. Yeah, obviously. You didn't like her. It's so annoying, too, that all these supporters can be like, Hillary Clinton murdered a bunch of people. She's killed everyone who's spoken out against her. She's a pedophile. She drinks baby's blood. And then she's like, y'all kind of suck. And they're like, how could she say that about us? Well, the things she said about her were worse. Shit. Thank you.
His original supporters that have been with him since 2015, that he's moving on. At least that's how I take it. So the people that have been fighting with him since 2015, the people that were in the streets for him, the people that were in prison for him, he's moved on from us. And so now we're his past supporters, we're hoaxers, we're bad people. And this Epstein post now is the worst yet. Nobody can seem to make any sense of it. The only conclusion I can land on it.
What is in your mouth? Goodness. Owen, I can't hear. Okay, I'm already bored with this. Let's see. Is he going to talk about the hands? He was supposed to talk about the hands.
As Trump's age and health is gonna become a big story.
Oh, here you go.
And I will just say this. He's wearing more makeup than he normally does, including on his hands now. He's wearing makeup on his hands for whatever reason. So things are just getting weird. And I just don't understand why President Trump would do this. It doesn't make any sense to anybody. Like, do you really want us to start talking about what else is going on in the administration? Do you really want us to start talking about Howard Lutnick and his relations with Epstein and being his neighbor and Larry Silverstein and September 11th? Like, do you really want us to go there? Do you really want us to start talking about Kash Patel and the new FBI jet? By the way, you know, I don't scoop other people's stories. And who knows, maybe Trump is trying to throw people off the scent of this other story out of DC that's about to break big, that I know you're trying to bury right now, about a certain congressman. I know you're trying to bury it. It's not going to happen. I know for a fact.
Tell us, Owen. What is it? What are they trying to bury? Tell us. What do you mention September 11th for? Ooh, oh no.
You're not going to be able to buy this story off. It will come out. And it could implicate Kash Patel and others. And it's going to be bad. About a very popular congressman. And some stuff has started to leak in both of these instances. But this is now where it's going to go. And the people that would ride or die with you
well, okay, so he's not going to tell us. That's so annoying. I hate that. Don't bring it up. I'm not going to scoop someone else's story, but specific congresswoman who does CrossFit was found standing over 3 dead bodies, but I'm not going to tell you the specifics of the story. I wouldn't want to expose Georgia congresswoman who dates a media personality and how she eats a diet of exclusively mice. I'm not gonna get ahead of that story about a certain congresswoman's past actions in Slovakia with the Russian mob. I'm just not gonna go there. You know, I'm not gonna go. Kiss my ass. Sheesh, Marge. I hate when people do that. It's like when people go, "Oh my gosh, Jaden said the most insane thing the other day," but he'd kill me if I told you. I can't tell you. I just can't tell you. Honor code, can't tell you. It's like, then why'd you bring it up? Oh, I just had the most horrifically dirty thought about somebody, but I just can't share that with you. I can't share that with you. Share it. All right, there was a New Republic article, The Lesson for Democrats from Zoron Mandani's Campaign, Be Normal. And what was interesting was there's a lot of takeaways, policies, criticisms, etc. But this is one I haven't talked about, which is just the power of being normal, being a person. A lot of voters resonate more with the person than the policies even. And the policies matter the most. Plus, people really connect with the person. And if they feel like they can trust and resonate with the person. And a good example of that other Democrats should take the lead from is this post where he said, "I was given an ultimatum." Of course, he's the New York Democratic mayoral nominee. And he said, "I was given an ultimatum."
So the other day, my comms team was giving me some feedback that I used the word ultimately a little too much, and then I need to take it out of my vocabulary. Then a few days later, I went home, opened up TikTok, and I saw this video. Ultimately, because ultimately, so I'm listening, I'm learning. I sit down for an interview with News 12, and I almost pull it off.
The president himself, he has called you a communist. He has threatened to arrest you if you enforce ICE raids.
I will not back down from that fight because what New Yorkers want.
So please keep sending me your feedback because ultimately, I will get better.
It's cute. Come on. That's sweet. And it's more transparent, Normally you're not talking about the inner workings of which words you're trying to stop saying so much. And man, that's the problem for a lot of Democrats. They'll bring forward the far better policies than the Republican. And then the messaging is so bad and they come off so robotic. We are going to make average, normal rail workers, coal workers, baristas,
Clean, beautiful coal.
laundry makers, the street cleaners' lives better. When I talk to regular people, I say, wow, you are a person. I would like to help you. Stop touching me, though. Your hands are dirty. And they need to break out of that. They need to break out of that. Now, the Republican candidate in the New York mayoral race is a guy by the name of Curtis Sliwa. And not to be confused with Jojo Siwa, he is Curtis Sliwa. No word yet on his sexual orientation. I'll let you know. A lot of attention given to that. I find it strange. Okay. Anywho, so I guess he's run multiple times, and he's the guardian angels guy. So they do vigilante law enforcement support or something. And I didn't realize, I've never really kept up with him, how funky he is. He's very funky. Get ready.
Ground states, Republicans, time to fight. Show some self-dignity. We can win New York City, and I need your help to do it. Go to Sliwa for NYC.com. Sliwa for NYC.com. It's a statistical tie, and I have a pathway to victory.
Okay. So I think I got word. Let me see. Right. Exactly. Okay. So yes, I got word that he was drinking Pep before this interview. What? That's why he was so hyped up. So if you want to feel like Jojo, oh gosh, Curtis feels here, get Pep, drinkpep.com.
I can take this guy on the issues. I'm in the streets. I'm getting the millennials. I'm getting the Gen Zs, just like President Trump did in the national election when he got so many young males to come on board that enabled him to win the general popular vote and the 7 battleground states.
He's just very energetic. We got to stop with the calling out groups. I'm so sick of it. Every single candidate does this. Can we just appeal to people on an economic basis? On a class basis, sure, you can call out those groups, but I'm so sick of all these identity. Oh, I appeal to suburban women. Love me. They love me. They want to feel safe. They don't want Hannibal Lecter coming across the border. Women love me. Or, oh, young men love us. Oh, I'm appealing to the Gen Zs, the millennials, the Hispanics. They love me. The African American, my favorite African American. So sick of it. The bisexuals are coming strong for this campaign. Coming on board. I've said it wrong. You get the point. Coming so strong.
The biggest load that we've seen.
Right. Can we stop? Can we stop, please? All of those speeches, Asians, black people, white people. I love it's like Asians, whites, Indians, black people, gays, straights, transes, people. That's iconic. Hispanics, Asians, whites, black people, gays, straight. By the way, we are going to make merch. I'm saying this right now. I just got word from our local affiliate that we're going to make merch with Lukey Says No Nuki. About nuking places. We are working on the design. Cole is. Yesterday I said. So I just want you to know, if you also say no nukes, we want no one to be nuked. If you bravely have that stance, then you can get yourself a Lukey Says No Nuki shirt. All right, Curtis, you still on my screen? What are you doing?
You sanctimonious hypocrite. You say that there should be social workers, not cops. But when you went to Washington, D.C. to have the big spread with all the squad members there, he had 10 NYPD armed police officers protecting him. Oh, so security, armed security for you with cops, social workers for us. Sean, you know if there's anybody who needs security, it's Curtis Lewa. I was shot 5 times with hollow point bullets on the orders of John Gotti Sr. to John Gotti Jr. and the Gambino crime family. I have no security because we need cops in the subways, in the streets, where they can do their job.
Also, you're not anywhere as famous as Zoron, but okay. That's impressive. You know what's weird when I'm watching a clip and it's kind of to like make fun of somebody and then I get impressed? I just got impressed. You've been shot 5 times? By who'd he say? John Gotti? Sometimes I forget John Gotti's even a real person. Or was a real person. John Grotti. Insurance salesman. Jared Frank sent a super chat thanking me for the subtle Office references, so I thought I'd plug another one in there. But that's crazy. Imagine surviving 5 shots. That's impressive. I have survived... It depends on what you mean by shots. I've had like vaccines shots. I've played airsoft and paintball. But in terms of real guns, I haven't been shot at all. So I am impressed by that, but I don't know if that makes him the right person to be mayor. I don't know. Is he? Wow, there's still more. This is interesting. One last Siwa clip.
Eric Adams is damaged goods. Every day a new case of corruption in the police department. They believe he's corrupt. Andrew Cuomo is a creep, slapping fannies and killing grannies. Everybody likes Curtis Lewa. My favorable ratings are the highest in this election cycle.
Wow. Okay, so we've checked him off the box. I saw someone post, our founding engineer is on our 3rd all-nighter. Human behavior AI. Behavior AI. Never stop shipping. And it's this photo of a woman working on her 3rd all-nighter straight. We have to get rid of this culture. The like, it's good to stay up all night all the time culture. It's good because I've fallen for this too, where I'll like brag sometimes. Not anymore. Now I brag about how much I sleep, but I used to brag. Oh my gosh, I've been working so much. I don't sleep. I barely sleep 4 hours. Bleh. That's terrible. I hate that we incentivize that. Being a hard worker is great. Sacrificing your sleep is not great. Psychologically, healthily, bodily, etc. And we need to stop. Oh, Jaden just pointed this out to me. I didn't even notice that. Show me that. Come on. What just happened? Oh, there we go. She has a flag that says eating ass is not a crime. The person in that photo. That's interesting. But it's really damaging that we are socially incentivizing. We talked about in yesterday's bonus show. Number 1, we incentivize money beyond craft or beyond contribution or fulfillment. Your career, it's ideal if you can be proud of it, not because of the money that it makes, but because of what it is that you're doing and how you enjoy doing it and what you feel like it does in the world. And the second part is we really have in America this like, oh, you don't have to sleep. Staying up all night. You never stop working. Work. And it's ruining our brains. Sleep is so important. That's my PSA. Back to Epstein, I guess. Sleep advice, and now we're back to Epstein. I don't know. You never know where this show's going to go. Here is, what's this guy's name? Tim Burchett. Tim Burchett. I sometimes forget that. Never mind. Here he is.
And, you know, Jesus said, how you treat the least amongst us is how you treat me. And those kids are the least amongst us, ma'am. And ultimately, I don't...
What about the bill that you voted for that's going to take food out of children's mouths? Okay.
How you treat me. And those kids are the least amongst us, ma'am. And ultimately, I don't stand before the president or the voters. I'm going to stand before my creator. And I want to do that with a clear conscience. And that's ultimately what drives me, because politically, is this the route I need to take in Washington, and, you know, and everybody jumping down my throat? No. But my mama and daddy didn't raise me that way, ma'am. They were fighters, and they always stood up for the underdog. And in this case, I think it's important we stand up for the people of America that have been abused, and to say we're through with these dirt bags. And
so that point's correct, but just for a second here, my mama and my daddy taught me to stand up for the disadvantaged. And that's why I voted for the bill that will rip away health care and food assistance for more Americans than any single bill in American history. Because that's how my mommy and my daddy taught me. I'm going to have to stand before my creator. And Jesus said, if you crap on the weak, you crap on me. And I took a big, massive crap on Jesus when I voted for this bill. Speaking of, actually, but yeah, thank you for speaking out against Trump on the whole Epstein thing. That works. Just the hypocrisy is kind of annoying. Speaking of, let me see if I can get this pulled up, and then we'll get back to it. But we had a live show, and Cole, somebody commented, said, where is this comment? Everyone hold your horses. Somebody commented saying something like, okay, all of these groups, but are we doing coal? Yeah, all these demographics, but are they doing coal?
We're doing coal.
There you go. Dave McKenzie said, love it. Lukey, so cutie too. Aw, DJ, thank you. Jenny, thank you. Jessica said, don't question the form it works, quoting MTG. Elfani said, breaking news, Democratic senators walk out on Emil Bove vote because of how it was being handled, but Senate just advanced him. Anyways, Dom said, Trump's makeup artist excels again. Jared, I already referenced that comment because I saw it. Just don't want to miss anyone. And then you have here somebody else named Edminster said shot 5 times. I can't imagine why. And then Mina Joy, thank you for becoming a member by clicking the join button. So we did a live show now like 2 weekends ago, and Cole put together a video that sums up the night that we had. Not really, there's more, but here's some of it.
Is it aligned with our American ideals to steal from the poor to give to the rich? Is it American to saddle future generations with debt just to give more wealth to the wealthy? Is it American to rip away 12 million citizens' health coverage among the poorest Americans, disabled folks, children, and literally taking the food people rely on away from them by cutting food assistance? I sure hope not. We're in a moment right now where one of the 2 major parties in this country has become a cult of Trump, a cult of personality, so much so that with few exceptions, Republicans were unwilling to oppose Trump on something they all knew to be unacceptable. Now let me address MAGA for a second. The reason that I'm fighting you is because I'm trying to fight for you. That's what all of us here want. We want to make every American's life better, including yours. I don't think you deserve to get screwed over by the oligarchy. I don't think you deserve to lose your health care in service of tax cuts for the rich. I don't believe that you should be treated as anything other than a hero with the benefits that match that if you're a veteran. This movement in the room tonight attacks Trump and MAGA Republican leaders as much for you, MAGA, as ourselves. I think you've been duped. I think your hatred has been weaponized. And if you'll let go of it, I'd love to welcome you over here. Sincerely, Luke. This moment calls for something different. We need a Democratic Party that will bring a level of urgency and aggression to the fight that inspires people, advocacy for fundamental change-oriented policies that speak to people, unapologetically joining the struggle to improve working people's lives through universal health coverage like every other industrialized nation, higher wages through a raised federal minimum wage and strengthened workers' rights and collective bargaining, which Trump is ripping apart right now, the best schools in the world through proper investment, strategic curricula, and not trying to dismantle public education but revive it, safe communities with well-resourced and funded law enforcement that's also held to account, a secure border and humane immigration policy, significantly increased support to families through child care, enhanced child tax credit, and paid family leave. And for the love of goodness, can we get a figure who can articulate coherently a vision on more affordable housing and just affordability in general? And there's a lot more, but I'll stop that list there. And all of it can be done. It's realistic, it's pragmatic, with a fair tax system that doesn't allow the uber rich to avoid trillions in reasonable contributions to our society, which great for them, but it's others' investment before them in this country that even allowed for their success to be possible. So perfectly reasonable to request they reinvest. MAGA gets lost in the symbolism of patriotism, which I love too, but they've gotten completely lost about the substance of patriotism. Take the word back. It's as much yours as it is anyone else's. We are patriotic, we love this country, and that's why we're demanding it lives up to its promise. Standing up for free and fair elections is patriotic. Standing up for the rule of law and the Constitution is patriotic. Standing up for the sick, the poor, the elderly, and the disabled is patriotic. Standing up for our children's future is patriotic. And shoot, standing up against a wannabe king on a day that celebrates our freedom from a king is damn patriotic.
There she is. What you think about that, Tim? You still feel like you're doing what your mommy and your daddy told you? We had a lot of fun. It was a good time. We'll talk a little bit about how Trump is kneecapping our ability to compete with China on the green energy front. But first...
China!
Yeah. Scott Jennings was asked if he would run for Senate. Apparently, everyone's wondering this. And let's see what his response was.
Because when you own as many libs as I do, you got to put a place to put them all.
Undermine your argument was correct, but I get what you're saying. Can I ask you this? A lot of people are floating your name to take over, to jump into the Senate seat, in Mitch McConnell's Senate seat next year in 26. What, are you thinking about it?
Yeah, I haven't made any announcements about that. There's 3 people in the race. I know them all, like them all, have been in and out of their lives in varying degrees over the years. I've supported them all in various endeavors. So I'm confident the seat will remain Republican. I do think politics is a team sport. I think Trump's the head coach, and eventually he's going to weigh in on this. And my political advice would be to anybody, you know, if he calls a play, we're going to have to run it. I wouldn't want to run against the president in Kentucky. So I don't really have any announcement about it at the moment.
Let me throw that through the bowling sieve here. If Trump taps you, you're going to run.
I pay very close attention to everything the president says.
Got it.
That's what I've learned to do this year.
Good. That's just.
Yeah. Oh, he's not his own man. He's just saying, I'll do it if Trump wants me to. And so, all right. I know that's the reality of Republican politics, but maybe not for too long. I'm getting too optimistic. I'm sure MAGA's going to get over this and love him again, but I like to believe it's all falling apart forever. Just for fun, just to make me feel good. You know this account that we talk about a lot, who has a lot of followers, maybe 1.4 million, and he goes by Gunther Eagleman. And his real name's I was about to say Morgan Freeman. No, David Freeman. His name's David Freeman, but he goes by Gunther Eagleman. Can you explain what the purpose of this is? Why would you have your name Gunther Eagleman and then put your real name in the description. That doesn't make any sense. And neither name is better than the other. But Gunther Eagleman is pretty epic. So this is what we've been... Can I see his profile picture up close? This is what we've been seeing from his profile photo. Okay? Gunther Eagleman. Gunther Eagleman. I wear pure squirrel skin. Gunther Eagleman. 100 animals' heads on my wall. Gunther Eagleman. Only missionary all the time. Well, he looks a little bit different whenever you see him. Hey, Gunther Eagleman. A little different. So here's him talking. We finally get to see the real Gunther, or the real David Freeman.
This message is for Pam Bondi. Pam, do a press conference. It's that simple. People want to hear the truth. They want transparency. That's it. Even if we don't like the truth, we want to hear the truth. One press conference helps solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, she's done a bunch and it doesn't really help, but it kind of not what I was hoping. I was kind of picturing like an Alex Jones voice, and he's a little, that's good. I'm happy, but that's just, I don't know. I'm a little let down. Is that wrong? I'm a little let down. I hope that's not offensive. I'm let down. All right, before going further on that topic, back to what I referenced before, America was already losing to China on clean energy. Trump just sealed its fate. We are ceding the future. Instead of having global dominance and economic prosperity fueled by a robust clean energy industry that the rest of the world begs us. They beg us. They come and say, please let us buy from your companies. You have it so technologically advanced. Instead, we're ceding that ground to where, Cole? Where are we ceding that ground?
China!
The new clean energy regime can be summarized in one incredible statistic. China installed more wind and solar power in a single year than the total amount of renewable energy currently operating in the United States. America was already laps behind China in the race to dominate the industry. New data from Global Energy Monitor shows President Donald Trump's big, beautiful spending bill will secure its position as a clean energy loser. Again, what does this mean? Jobs. It means that industries that would have been exploding globally as they start here, advance here, and as other countries progress in their green energy front, they come to our companies for business. Instead, and, no, exactly what I just said. Perfect. And China's going to fill that role instead. The spending law Trump signed earlier this month kneecaps clean energy tax credits for wind and solar. Business leaders say it will raise electricity prices for businesses and consumers alike here, as the cheapest electrons on the grid generated by wind and solar become more costly to build and are replaced with more expensive gas. I thought we were going to do... I don't want to say that. We've used that soundbite too many times. But Trump was saying we're going to have... That's where that soundbite comes from, is Trump's going, we don't need solar. We have clean, beautiful coal, is where the thing comes from. At the same time, pulling funds for the clean energy industry puts it on its heels just as it was looking to make gains toward more efficient technologies and better battery storage. Meanwhile, China is currently building 510 gigawatts of utility-scale solar and wind capacity, according to the Global Energy Monitor. It will be added to the eye-whopping 1,400 gigawatts already online, 5 times what is operating in the U.S. So it's not just a needless, meaningless competition. It's that as they progress, their companies progress and grow, they will be benefiting from global demand in a way that we won't be. Not to mention that we could be benefiting from cheaper renewable energy. Xi Jinping, so smart, understands that that's the future. And Trump doesn't. And honestly, there's nothing ideological here. It's not like he actually believes we need to hold back our renewable energy industry. It's just that he knows that's a way to own the libs. It's just a dumb anti-liberal thing to do, even though in every conceivable way, whether it be economic stimulation, pushing forward, like we still subsidize the oil and gas industry. So of course it's reasonable. We've been doing that for years to support the renewable energy industry and move us forward and get people cheaper energy that isn't harming the planet, that's making sure we're breathing cleaner air and drinking cleaner water and eating food that's good and better and more better and mo better. And all of those opportunities are there, and Biden made a pretty good stride forward on that, and then Trump comes in and just rips it all apart. It's disappointing and scary. Layla P, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate you. Ozzy said, why doesn't Biden, Obama, Comey sue Trump for defamation? Trump claims that they created the list is ridiculous. I'm angry that Dems don't fight enough. Yeah, Trump could be sued for defamation 2 trillion times. It's just difficult to win those cases and demonstrate damages whenever you're the public figure that Obama, Clinton, Biden are. It's just nearly impossible to demonstrate that Trump harmed their reputation in some significant way, despite it being obviously lies. Miss Miller, thank you. Jared with the JD Vance photo said, excellent work from the deep state editing that video. I know. Cassie said this video is too clean. Wow. Soren said Luke Beasley 2036. Victoria said, so proud of you, Luke Beasley, for president. I think I already thanked Mina Joy. And then another U.S.-China competition that we're failing on is the soft power. Cultivating beneficial relationships with countries globally in their time of need often. So as they progress, we benefit from better diplomatic relations, better economic relations. They want to economically intertwine with us. And we did that through things like USAID, cultivating better attitudes globally towards the United States by supporting in the scheme of our entire federal budget in a way that's a slice of a slice of a slice of a slice of a slice, a tiny little slice. And we can globally cultivate goodwill towards us that we can then cash in on. Not to mention, we help to prevent diseases from spreading to the United States. Not to mention, we just care about other people globally. But that last one, MAGA really doesn't want to hear. So that's why I start with the first two. But the soft power game, we're losing on too now because of Trump. Trump's soft power retreat scrambles U.S.-China race. And this Axios piece goes through that Trump has set a radical new course in the U.S.-China rivalry, ceding ground to Beijing in pursuit of a far narrower vision of America's role in the world. Voice of America is a good example of this. The agency that sought to get information out to places that aren't hearing the journalism that would bring such information to them. And the U.S.-funded broadcaster, long trusted to reach audiences inside authoritarian regimes, has gone dark because Trump is gutting the agency. And Chinese state media is moving aggressively to fill the vacuum, expanding broadcasts in Nigeria, Thailand, Indonesia, and other countries where VOA once saturated the airwaves. So people will now be hearing, instead of a more accurate or America-aligned message, they'll be hearing a more Chinese-aligned message. And then there's other examples of that as well. But I think you get the point. Bad. Bad is the point. Back to Epstein. Okay. Nick Fuentes, the neo-Nazi extreme right-winger, was a big Trump guy at one point, but now is very upset with Trump, said this.
Okay, bet. You don't want our support? Forget about the midterms. Forget it. The 2026 midterms, it just needs to be a Democrat avalanche at this point. And that's not because I'm a Democrat. I'm not. I don't like the Democrats. I hate the Republicans more because the Republicans are traitors. Because I have voted for Republicans, I have supported Republicans, and they shit on our face.
Yeah. That's one way to say it.
This man is clearly not well. He's got makeup on his hand because he's getting an IV. His calves are totally swollen because maybe he has a heart condition, a kidney condition. He's 100 years old, okay? This is an old man. Most presidents age tremendously serving 2 terms.
By the way, can we not do the he's 100 thing? Like, I know people who are getting pretty dang close to 100, and that 20 years is a really pivotal 20 years. Like, Trump's 80-ish. What is he, 79? Yeah, right? 79. So he has 2 decades to go before he's 100. Can we make sure that we credit, if you make it from 80 to 100, that's a crazy stretch of time. That's a really major stretch of time. Take this down for a second. He brought up Trump's ankles. Trump ankles that are causing some concern. Let me pull this up in case you haven't seen it. Sorry for our podcast listeners if there are visual elements that you're not getting to see, but while you're not seeing this, if you would drop a review and a rating, that would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, those, I'm not like an ankles genius, but those don't look normal. They don't look normal per se. I'm happy that there's a Diet Coke there and kind of give us perspective. So you can see the Diet Coke, sort of regular size, and it looks like about 2 widths of the bottle is the size of his ankles. And that could be a real problem, you know. Now, I've speculated before that could be they have like ankle braces on, like, you know, padding, so that if he's had problems with rolling his ankle, it kind of stabilizes, and maybe not the swelling of the actual ankle. We just don't know. And he's not going to be transparent enough to let us know. Then you have Alex Jones posting more videos than I've ever seen before about this subject. I mean, other than me.
And you're not perfect, but they understand that the globalists didn't like you and were attacking you, and you were doing so much on so many good fronts. So I have to say at this point, if you look at the scales here, whether it happened a year ago or 6 months ago or a month ago, stuff really started to change when Elon left with what he discovered. And I think it adds a lot of credibility to what he said, that Trump's implicated here. I'm not saying sex abuse of kids, but definitely somehow, maybe somebody close to him. That's what I've been told. That
you have been told, you're just throwing that out there, you have been told that someone close to him, not him, was sexually abusing children? Okay.
That you are compromised. And if you go with the deep state and continue down this road thinking they're going to leave you alone if you just work with them, you can already see how whatever deal you made is destroying you in lifetime. The cover-up is even worse than whatever would have come out. So I'm loyal to the truth. I'm loyal to the idea that I know is true. The devil's greatest trick was not convincing the world he didn't exist. That was the second biggest trick. His biggest trick was convincing the world good didn't exist. And I know I'm good. I know I care about freedom and justice. And I know my crew does, and I know our listeners and viewers do. And I know that, I knew last Monday, 8 days ago, I said, this is going to be a disaster. This is Streisand effect.
So that little line he said sounds nice. The devil's greatest trick wasn't convincing us he didn't exist, but convincing us that good didn't exist. Is that what he said? Which I think we can all fairly say is pretty much the dumbest thing anyone's ever said. Absolutely stupid. The devil convinced us good didn't exist. Every person I've ever met in the history of the world believes that good exists. Literally every person. If they didn't, they're dead. That's grim, but I'm serious.
And I know my crew does. And I know.
Let's see. I want to hear this and make sure I'm criticizing the correct thing.
Biggest trick. His biggest trick was convincing the world good didn't exist. And I know I'm good. I know.
I know I'm good. That's awesome. Oh gosh. I know I'm good. That's like a really, don't say that. Don't say that. I know I'm good. So they must be bad. Good. Who believes good doesn't exist? Everyone believes good exists in some capacity. Alex, he's trying to be don't do philosophy. I don't think that's your thing. What else do we want to talk about? Well, I should respond to comments. Edminster said it's padding for his bones first. Drink pep. Thank you. Kyle Rome clicked the join button and became a member. Thank you. Miss Miller said the big, beautiful breakup. I love you all. Thanks to you, I cry laughing instead of, just crying. Never leave us. LJCBC. There we go. There we go. Can you do the Jaden one? You never play the Jaden one. You always play your own. Do it again. I was talking.
I love
Jaden.
There we go. Give Jaden some love. Damn it. Can you play the Bing 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 one? We have a new one.
Bing bing bong bong bing bing bing.
Yeah, that's a real audio
Bing,
from
bing,
Trump.
bong, bong, bing, bing, bing.
Yeah, there you go. I appreciate all of you so much. And on that note, I'll talk to you next time.